Welcome to the Never Ending Backlog podcast, your place for short reviews from a gamer with the goal of reducing his backlog. From adventures to sandboxes, join our host as we walk through a collection of unplayed treasures. Now, let's take a look at the featured game of this episode of the Never Ending Backlog.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Never Ending Backlog. Today we are reviewing a game I knew nothing about, had zero idea where it came from, nor how to pronounce it correctly. I honestly thought it was Jesabel the entire time, since the font seems a little deceiving. However, that's not correct. Today we are reviewing Iesabel. Iesabel. What is it? According to Steam, in the times of darkness, only the mightiest of heroes can save the world. Stand out against the evil all by yourself in epic single-player mode. Swarms of bloodthirsty monsters, loads of epic gear to collect, dozens of skills to obtain. Grab your sword and fling yourself into action now! The genre? Action indie RPG. Think of a Diablo-like clone. The release date was 2013. The publisher was Forever Entertainment SA. How much is it? $4.99. Historical low was 30 cents on Indie Gala. Well, let's actually jump in the review part of it. The game installed fine. It's just over 2 gigs on the hard drive. It forces full screen, but a simple Alt-Enter and changing the resolution solved that problem quickly enough and allowed QBS to actually record properly, which is nice. The game has multiplayer and adequate options to tune to kind of what you're looking for. The settings and all that stuff work fine. I haven't actually played multiplayer yet. I should actually see if it actually works. Graphics, it has a Titan Quest vibe to it, more so than Diablo. The worlds are quite repetitive regarding textures and items, though. The armor and weapons do change the appearance for the character. There are other Diablo-like clones out there that don't do that, and that frustrates me. I'm just going to say right now, I am all about customization and glamorizing my character. If I change my helmet, I want my helmet to change in the game. If I change my sword, I better have a different sword. That frustrates me when games don't do that. When Diablo 2 started doing that over Diablo 1, made my life so happy. My Necromancer was so cool in that game. Anyway, audio. The song in the main world kept repeating. It wasn't a terrible song, it just kept repeating and got a little old. The title song is an odd one as well. It just seems weird. I don't really know how to explain it. Just listen to the title song. If you have this game, or even I think it might be on YouTube, listen to the title song. It's just something about it just seems weird. I don't know. The voiceover for the barbarian made me giggle. Yes, I use that loosely. It made me giggle. It's basically if you take a child and ask them to speak like a man, and they build up the voice from their gut or the back of the throat. It's basically that. And I'm just going to do my worst impression of this. I'm sorry. You'll be like, and now you will eat the cow. You will eat it and you'll smash it with a sword. That's basically what this game's like. The barbarian, and it's hilarious. Indie developers work on a budget. I get it. I feel like you probably could have just maybe changed, maybe just use your normal voice and just drop, made it a little bit more bassy. Probably would have worked out well. Just call me up. I'll do it for you next time. I will be that voice. I will talk in a deep voice like this, and we will conquer it. But I think it could be fun. But anyway, it's kind of funny. For controls, the controls are atrocious. Ugh. Unfortunately, you are required to use the mouse, etc., which is standard for a point-and-click hack-and-slash type of game. However, you either have to click attack, there's a button that's for attack, or push A over and over again. Unlike games like Diablo, Fate, Sacred, etc., where you can use your left mouse button and just click that way. It's so weird. You have to click on the left mouse button to actually target them, and then you have to keep pushing A on your keyboard, or pushing the attack button on your clicking the attack button. It's so weird. The spells and potions are your standard numbered keys, which isn't a problem. However, even the intro hint basically started by saying, here are all the keys that are used, and it's about 20 plus keys. It's so weird. Regarding gameplay, this is your standard Diablo-like hack and slash game where you choose a class, Witcher Barbarian for me, and then you kill creatures, complete quests, level up, and collect loot. Not much more than that. The loot was kind of stingy in my opinion. I wasn't really getting much of anything. Regarding the difficulty, it doesn't seem that difficult. It's quite grindy and repetitive though, so just be aware of that. The control scheme is likely what will be the most challenging, unfortunately. It was weird. Really, really weird. For achievements, so far I've earned 0 out of 48 achievements, so they are stingy with that as well. So not just collecting gear, they are stingy with achievements. So I'll respect them for stingy with the achievements though. For pros, The armor changes appearance of your character. I like that. There's quite a few different features such as crafting, skill trees, character stats, etc., which seems ambitious for an indie title. The screenshots show quite a few different worlds which are appealing. However, I have not seen any of them yet. For cons, the audio was pretty awful, from repetitive soundtracks to laughable voiceovers. There was a game review by GameSpot which said, an action that never drags on or races forward too fast. I would argue with that. It drags constantly. It's just a point-and-click move, swarm attack game over and over again. From the repetitive maps to the repetitive enemies, it drags. I'm sorry, play something like Diablo 3 or Sacred and they drag less. Controls are awful. It's basically just used the whole keyboard in the wrong way. And even the hint just said, yeah, the game, these keys are used in the game. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and it just goes through them all. And it doesn't really always say what they're for. It just says they just use all of them. Some interesting stories. Initially, like I said, I mentioned it's called Jesabel instead of Iesabel. That was an interesting story. I thought that was kind of funny. The beginning dog-like creatures are called whelps. And even though I know that's actually a technical name of creatures, it sounds like this. It's the sound I make when I'm being unsympathetic to someone's woes, such as, "Welp, that sucks." So that's kind of funny. This was actually a Steam Greenlight game. Remember that? Those beta games where you try to get people to kind of vote for it. Unfortunately, Steam Greenlight discontinued in 2017. The developer, Forever Entertainment, has an odd claim on their website stating, "We are one of the biggest game publishers on Nintendo Switch in the world." I will say right now, they have a ton of games. And a few of them that I found were interesting that they have was Panzer Dragoon, the remake, Fear Effect Sedna, Green Hell. And like I said, they actually have a ton of games of all shapes and sizes. Dozens on dozens on dozens. So they publish a ton of games. So that's pretty cool. Do I recommend this game? Unfortunately, I don't think I can recommend this game. You know, it's a solid Diablo-like clone or a Titan Quest clone. However, it's slower than most, unintentionally, and it's 7 years old. And for a similar price, you can get games like Fate, which I like that one, Diablo and Hellfire as a combo from GOG, Diablo 2 directly from Battle.net for $9, and many others that are just better alternatives. You know, I am always one for supporting indie developers. The thought of making this seems incredibly intimidating, so props to anyone that does it. It actually is. There's a lot to this game. Like I mentioned earlier, like, you know, it's crafting and leveling up and all that stuff. So it's not the fact that there's not a lot of stuff in this game. It's just a lot of it just doesn't seem like it's done properly, and that it was rushed, and they just like, we want to make a Diablo competitor. So I think it could have definitely been better. But like I said, for the price, you can get games like Diablo 2 or Fate. And even though Fate's a single player game, it's a really well done game. I think you probably can get Torchlight for around a similar price. And Torchlight was a really great game as well. So I really can't recommend Iesabel. Props to the developer. Props for all your other stuff. I mean, Panzer Dragoon remake, that's cool. Fear Effect, that was cool. Green Hell, I remember seeing those ones, those survival games in the forest, kind of like the game The Forest. It sounds like they do a lot of kind of like remake kind of games that are usually cheaper or reboots. So really cool. Like I said, can't recommend it, but I had some fun playing it. So that was Iesabel on this episode of the Never Ending Backlog podcast. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, everybody.